Developed by Chinese-based studio ThinkingStars comes Cyberpunk-themed action game Anno Mutationem, which has nothing to do with Ubisoft's Anno series, by the way. The game released on PS4, PS5 and PC, but is it any good? First things first, you play as Anne Flores, within various cities that are teeming with life and exceptionally colourful futuristic visuals. The game uses a pixel art style for the characters, using more detailed backgrounds and props. The game's opening allows you to explore quite freely, where there are people to talk to, shops to buy weapons, ROM upgrades, and even a clothes shop, although you can't afford most things at the game's start. There are also buildings you can enter, such as a bookstore. The game also sports 3 main populated areas alongside confined underground spaces where most of the fighting action takes place. Players can undertake various side missions in the cities, and there is even an arena where you can duke it out against some tough opponents later on in the story. The main gameplay hook, aside from exploration and a few minigames like bartending, are based around Anne's combat skills. We're not going to spoil the story here, aside from mention that Anne's motivation is focused on finding her lost brother. Players can have access to quick swords, double blades, a slower broadsword and ranged weapons such as pistols, missile launcher and some kind of fusion weapon. Each weapon is upgradable and players can add modifying chips for stat bonuses. Anne's attacking is also upgradable via the Crom system, basically a skill tree which gives her extra moves, backpack space and much more to boot. The actual fighting is a mixed bag because it's too easy to miss your opponent and strike the air because they've either moved or you're facing the wrong way. Some sort of auto lock-on might have alleviated this problem. That said, you can perform combos, but it's a little bit button mashy as some enemies are bullet spongy, with a replenishing shield bar and additional health bar to cut through. As you would expect, there are lesser enemies which Anne can cut down very quickly, sub-bosses and main bosses to contend with. There's quite a bit of variety, but most enemies use the same attack patterns. There are frustrating moments against some of the characters, especially the final boss where you're unable to purchase healing items because you're locked out of being able to speak to one of the cornhead vendors. Yes, cornhead vendors. Some enemies, they decided not to need a health bar for some reason, which is an odd design choice. But the worst part of the game is a reliance on platform sections which really slow the progression down and just feels a bit cheap and not needed. Some laser moments towards the end of the game are puzzle-like and totally unnecessary. One hacking section had us stuck for some time trying to figure the solution, and this was tied to story progression. That's a big no-no. Still, overall the game is an enjoyable romp, which offers about 15 hours plus of gameplay. Some more combat outside of the cities would have been nice to have, as an opening chase sequence is pretty awesome with the city skyline in the background. You get a real sense of scale there. So, is Anno Mutationem any good and worth playing? We're going to say yes, it is, despite some moments which don't gel so well with the overall feel of the game. You do get your money's worth and the visuals are spectacular at times. If you like cyberpunk themes, then this ambitious game should be in your library. Anno Mutationem scores 7.5 out of 10. Okay, I'm Rob Cram, thanks for watching.
Yeah. kill? Time to push up some daisies! Look out! 1, 2, 3! Time to push up some daisies!